And we're happy to have you back, everybody. Johnny Kane, your host here on Open Mic on WJR Radio. And over the next about 2.5 months, say 9 weeks, we will be featuring Drive to the Game Season 2, our high school football coverage, a great partnership where, if you're unable to get to a high school football game of your choosing on a Friday night or Thursday night, in this case, we will have you covered here on WJR. As we will be bringing you one of the marquee matchups from around the state here on the radio wave. So it all gets started tomorrow night. It's the Amazon Prep Kickoff Classic, which will be held over at Wayne State University. I've been over there a couple of seasons myself, doing some television work over the last couple of years. And this week's going to be a good one because it is going to be Lake Orion against Northville. These two teams met a season ago. Lake Orion beat Northville 20-13. But what we're going to do at 6:45 starting tomorrow night, we'll have a pregame kickoff show hosted by Giovanni Micheri, where he will set the table for that week ahead. And again, tomorrow being Thursday, but every Friday night deep into October, over the next 2 months and change, we will tell you everything you need to know about our high school football showcase of the week. Again, season 2 of Drive to the Game. It's an exciting time, and a lot of our SportsCaster.com contributors will be a part of those shows, so we encourage you to listen in. But without further ado, let's get to this week's showcase game. Again, Northville against Lake Orion. Here is our host, Giovanni Micheri.
My name is Giovanni Mosheri, and I'll be your host for this season of Drive to the Game, the second season of WJR's Game of the Week broadcast, where we're going to bring you the best matchups in each week in Michigan high school football. We'll be on the sidelines at the game, and I'll be your pregame, halftime, and post-game host to get you guys ready for the game. And for this one, we kick off the season at Wayne State at the 20th annual Amazon Prep Kickoff Classic, an entire weekend of the best matchups in the state to bring the season to a grand opening. This year, we got Northville and Lake Orion. Thursday night, pregame show starts at 6:45, so be sure to mark your calendars and tune into the broadcast either live on 760 WJR or on SportsCaster.com's YouTube channel and our website, SportsCaster.com. We'll have the broadcast for you here, and I want to get you guys warmed up and familiar with the matchup before we go into it, and you'll hear more in the pregame show, no doubt. So we'll start with the Northville Mustangs, where they are under the leadership of third-year head coach Brent Luplo, who in just 2 years ago, 2023, his beginning season, coming in from Brighton, where he led as an assistant that team to a 2019 state championship game. He now comes to Northville bringing those same winning expectations. 2 years ago, they went undefeated in KLAA play, 7-0, and got themselves to a district championship. Last year, though, did not reach the same expectations. They were 6-4 in the overall season and 5-2 in KLAA play, where they averaged 27 points a game and allowed 20. But this year, there's a lot of expectations, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They got a ton of returning starters coming back, 7 on the offensive side and 5 on the defensive side. And 2 of those returning starters are going to be huge pieces to what could be the best offense in the state of Michigan. It's led by Cooper Derkash at quarterback. He didn't start at quarterback last year until about week 3, where the starting quarterback suffered a season-ending injury in their third game of the season, in which Derkash stepped in and kept them alive in a 29-28 double overtime loss. But right away in that next game, his first game as the full-time starter, he exploded to the tune of 261 yards and 5 touchdowns in a 54-0 win. Needless to say, the Mustangs were in good hands at the quarterback spot. And this year, with all kinds of off-season reps with the wide receivers and the rest of the offense, tons of 7-on-7 and great leadership skills displayed by the young quarterback. And last season, it earned him trips to camps at Adrian, at Albion, at Alma, and at Hope College. He's getting attention from the next level. last season, an all-regional selection as well, where he threw for 962 yards, 13 touchdowns, and rushed for 426 yards and a team-leading 7 touchdowns. But it's not just him with the rushing touchdown, not just him as the attack on the ground. They got a returning running back as well. Running back Max DeFore, who rushed for 755 yards on 124 carries for 5 touchdowns. Highlight game including a 209-yard performance against Novi in Week 8. DeFore, over the offseason, with a ton of protein intake and attention to his diet, as well as a powerhouse gym membership, he bulked up to 24 pounds of muscle, putting him at 6 foot and 209 at the running back spot. And the bell cow back, according to Coach Luplo, is going to get about 15 to 25 carries a game. So he's going to have the rock quite a bit, and it's a whole lot to tackle. So good luck to the defenses against him this season. And those are the two big pieces to what could be the best offense in the state of Michigan. So that's the Northville Mustangs heading up against the Lake Orion Dragons. And now this is a rematch from the beginning of the season last year, where these two teams faced off, and it was Lake Orion that got the best of the Mustangs, a 20-13 win for them to start the season. They now get a rematch here at Wayne State as well. You're looking at last year for Lake Orion, a 6-4 overall record as well, and a 2-2 OAA red record. And now, you look at it in comparison, 2-2, 5-2 as far as the conference play between the two teams. But you got to understand, the OAA red is one of the toughest divisions, different conference in the state of Michigan. So anyone you can get there is crucial. Those are some heavy hitting teams, and Lake Orion looks to be one of those teams as well. Their biggest story is their head coach, Chris Bell, the 2022 Michigan Football Coaches Association Hall of Famer, with a 169-65 record in his 22 seasons as the Dragons head coach. This is his second stint at the head coaching position, where he coached in his first stint to 149 wins before moving to the athletic director position, and then just a few years ago coming back to the head coaching position, still leading the Dragons to victory. And when you have a head coach like this, regardless of how the roster is, which we'll get into in just a second, experience is huge when it comes to any coaching position. We all know that. That's intuitive. We get that. And when I imagine it from the perspective of the players, where you're in good hands. You're in trusted, experienced hands. And especially with a coach who didn't just stack up regular season wins. He made 16 playoff appearances, 6 league titles, and a 2010 state championship, all under the belt of Coach Bell. And now, as far as the roster this season, a lot of seniors from last year have graduated on, leaving room for the now upcoming senior class and upperclassmen as well. They want to write their own story. And especially, again, back to the perspective of the players, when you have such great senior leadership and it's now your turn, it's a different dynamic, but still under that kind of leadership, they should be just fine. The strength of this team, according to Coach Bell, is in the trenches, where many consider it to be the most important spot to be a strength, offensive and defensive line. And for this team, not only that, another star player is Ryan Rashilo, the tight end outside linebacker, 3-year starter and Western Michigan commit, returns to the team as one of the 4 starters on offense and defense, 4 on each side for the Dragons. They will also have their leading tackler, their defensive MVP, and Alex Hensley returning to the spot. So when you got some star power and you got strong trenches and strong experience at the head coach position, you can beat just about anybody. And for this game, as a measuring stick said by both coaches, it's going to be huge to see how these teams wind up. So we'll have all of that and more at the pregame show, 6:45 Thursday on 760 WJR and on SportsCaster.com. We'll see you there.
All right, good stuff from Giovanni Macheri. Again, he will be hosting our coverage, anchoring our coverage of Drive to the Game throughout the high school football season. Giovanni, a proud graduate of Oakland University and a member of the SportsCaster.com program. So I hope everybody can tune in tomorrow night. Again, 6:45 will be the kickoff show, and then we will be bringing you the Lake Orion Dragons against the Northville Mustangs in our high school football game of the week. So an exciting time for all of us, exciting as we transition here in the back end of August into September with football season now upon us. That's not to say we're going to sleep on everything that's happening in Major League Baseball because that's an exciting time too. But as we start to transition into fall, exciting for us all to be a part of football on every level. I want to thank our guests today, obviously Giovanni Macheri, who you hear again tomorrow. I want to thank Emily Wisnowski for her thoughtful commentary on the Big 12 Conference and Texas Tech University. I also want to thank Lyric Sloan for the job that she did in talking with Dan Miller, the voice of the Detroit Lions, and also Johnny Oxenfeld for his story about a 59-year-old senior in college living out his dream, fulfilling his college football eligibility. So a good show, jam-packed show this week. As always, you can catch us here on WJR every Wednesday night from 8 to 9 o'clock here on Open Mic. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Really do. And I look forward to being with you guys again a week from tonight.